your department notified our committee that it would ignore Ranking Member Meek's holds on UAE arms sales.
I think no matter who was president, they would have to deal with the UAE. We have to. They're a member,
That's not my question. Secretary Rubio, we have a president who is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government-backed company at the same time he is selling lethal weapons to that same government. Isn't that a clear conflict of interest?
That offer's never been made to me.
Yes, so you would reject that offer?
The offer of a Rolls Royce?
Yes.
I don't understand the purpose of that question. That's a silly question.
The fact that you can't answer the question,
I just answered it. I said it's silly.
That right, there was supposed to be a gotcha moment, and it turned into a full-blown meltdown. Democrats came in swinging with buzzwords like genocide, corruption, and conflict of interest, hoping to corner Rubio, but instead, they ended up arguing with themselves while Rubio just stood there like, are we serious right now? The hypocrisy was loud, the logic was missing, and the desperation? Oh, that was on full display. If you caught that train wreck too, hit like, subscribe, and don't go anywhere. Let's watch the full clip before I break this all the way down.
President Trump continues to arm the UAE. In fact, he just blew through Ranking Member Meek's congressional hold on over $1 billion in arms sales, ignoring this committee's longstanding role as an independent check on major arms sales. And we can have a policy debate here about the merits of continuing to arm the UAE or not, despite this genocide. I had that same conversation with Secretary Blinken. But actually, I want to talk about the events that led up to that decision. So on April 30th, the Trump Organization, which Donald Trump still owns, unveiled plans to build an 80-story Trump Tower in Dubai. Then on May 1st, Trump's crypto company, World Liberty Financial, secured a $2 billion deal with an Emirati company with deep ties to the government. And only 11 days later, on May 12th, your department notified our committee that it would ignore Ranking Member Meek's holds on UAE arms sales.
I think no matter who was president, they would have to deal with the UAE. We have to. They're a member.
That's not my question. We can have a policy debate about how we should engage with the UAE.
They're making claims about corruption, and I'm answering that any president in the United States, I don't care who the president is, would have to deal with the UAE. They're a member of the Abraham Accords, number one. They've been incredibly cooperative on a bunch of other issues. We don't agree with them on 100%. We have concerns about some of the things they do, but this is called the balancing of foreign policy.
Secretary
It is in
Rubio,
our national interest to have
you.
a good relationship with the UAE, despite the fact that there are things we do we don't like.
Secretary Rubio, I don't disagree with you. I just visited the UAE a couple weeks ago and had these very same conversations there, but I don't think this is a complicated question. President Trump is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who is enabling a genocide. Policy aside, are you really saying you don't think this is a conflict of interest?
No, you're making claims. The president's family owns a business, and they can conduct business anywhere in the world they want. The president's never once raised business deals in UAE when talking about it. Any president would have to have a relationship with the UAE.
Secretary Rubio,
the
that's
previous
just
administration had one too.
President Trump has retained his ownership of these companies, and I have an image right here from World Liberty Financial's website. So the idea that President Trump is not the face of the brand of this company on top from benefiting from them, and it literally says on the website that Mr. Trump and his family members own a 60% stake in this company, that's silly. So we can talk about the policy merits. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a very simple question. Do you believe it's a conflict of interest to have a president personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who's enabling a genocide?
I don't accept the premise of your question. I think this has nothing to do with personally benefiting from anything. This has to do with the fact that in order to conduct foreign policy in the Middle East, you're going to have to deal with the UAE.
Mr. Secretary, this is a clear conflict of interest, and anyone with any common sense can see that. The president is personally benefiting from billions of dollars of deals, and he doesn't care at all about the people of Sudan who are experiencing famine and genocide. It's shocking to me that you can't admit that. It's clear that you seem more concerned about staying in Trump's good graces than sticking up for human rights and American values that you once were a champion for. With that, I'm going to yield the remainder of my time to Representative Olszewski.
Well, you make these claims about staying in good graces. You accuse people of being
reclaiming my time,
corrupt.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I
We have to
appreciate
do
a softball
UAE.
for you, yes or no, since I don't have a lot of time, and I appreciate it. The chairman gives me a few seconds back. Softball for you. Would you, yes or no, as Secretary, find it outrageous for you to solicit or accept a $200,000 Rolls Royce from a foreign government for personal or State Department use?
That offer's never been made to me.
Yes, so you would reject that offer?
The offer of a Rolls Royce?
Yes.
I don't understand the purpose of that question.
You would.
That's a silly question.
The fact that you can't answer the question,
I
Mr.
just
Secretary,
answered. I said it's silly.
That was not oversight. That was a political fishing expedition that forgot to bring bait. Rubio saw it coming from a mile away and shut it down instantly. The entire argument from the Democrat side was built on one thing: assumptions stacked on top of speculation, wrapped in outrage, and delivered like it was fact. And Rubio did the one thing they absolutely hate. He refused to accept the premise. Because here's the reality they don't want to admit. The United States deals with the UAE because it has to. Strategic alliances don't disappear just because someone throws a headline on the table and raises their voice. The UAE is a key partner in the Middle East, part of the Abraham Accords, and every administration, Democrat or Republican, has worked with them. That's not corruption. That's foreign policy 101. But instead of debating policy, they tried to turn it into a soap opera. Suddenly it's not about national interest, it's about feelings, optics, and dramatic accusations with zero hard proof. And Rubio wasn't playing that game. He kept it grounded, kept it factual, and most importantly, he didn't let them bully him into agreeing with a loaded question. And then came the moment that just exposed everything, the Rolls-Royce question. Out of nowhere. Like, what are we even doing at this point? That's not a serious question. That's something you ask in a bad courtroom drama. Rubio calling it silly was being polite. Because what that question really showed is they had nothing left. No argument, no evidence, just throwing hypotheticals at the wall hoping something sticks. And while they're busy screaming about conflicts of interest, notice what's missing: any real conversation about actual government waste, actual corruption, or where taxpayer money is disappearing. Funny how that works. The outrage only shows up when it's politically convenient. Rubio stayed calm, didn't overreact, didn't apologize, and didn't cave. He let the other side spiral, and they did exactly that. By the end, it wasn't even a hearing anymore. It was a rant session dressed up as accountability. That's why this moment matters. One side came with facts and composure. The other came with talking points and lost control. And in the process, they proved Rubio right without him even having to say much.